everybody, it's Carolyn in Capone and welcome back to our RV life in all its glory. As I said in my previous video, Matilda is in RV hospital emergency room, as you can see. I guess this would be the RV equivalent of traction. I don't know. Today I'm going to talk about what I have learned. I got my transmission rebuilt 2 months ago, and when I left the shop in Northern California, I was told I had a Napa AutoCare Nationwide warranty. Well, when my transmission broke 2 months later, I found out that wasn't the case. So I'm going to share with you what I have learned. I also want to talk about why I keep putting money into Matilda. A lot of people are asking me, why don't you just get a new RV? You're wasting your money. It's a money pit. It's a lemon. So I want to talk about that a little bit because I have philosophy about that. So stay tuned. That's what we're going to talk about. First of all, I want to address why I keep putting money into Matilda instead of buying a new RV. I have said in previous videos, I am choosing to live my life a little differently from the way I have lived before. Part of the reason is because I wasted a lot of money on stuff that in the end I realized didn't make me happy. I chased I need newer, bigger, better, brand name, shiny, brand spanking new. I did all that for a long time, and not only did it not make me happy, it wasn't congruent with the real me. I care about the planet, and I see the waste and how we're a throwaway, disposable society. And when I decided to live in an RV, that was part of what I wanted to shed. The disposableness of everything. I just walked by a dump yesterday. It's disgusting. Nothing is built to last anymore. We are a throwaway society, and in the meantime, we're using resources that can't be replenished to keep building stuff that we just throw away. That's wrong. We're killing our planet. Our dumps are full of garbage that's never, ever, ever gonna go away. We are depleting our Earth's natural resources. So a lot of you keep asking me, why don't you just buy a new RV? Because there are plenty of old RVs that just need a little TLC and maybe a little investment to keep them running. That's why. So what? I put Matilda in a junkyard and add up to the garbage on the planet while I go out and buy another brand new one that's depleting the resources of our planet? That makes no sense to me. So yeah, have I had some issues with Matilda? Absolutely. Did I expect to have issues with Matilda? Absolutely. Did I expect to have so many issues in the first 8 months? No. I really hoped it would work out over a couple of years. But this is life, right? So, paid $8,000 for Matilda, and I've put another, I think by the time this is done, it'll be about $9,000 into her. Yeah, it's a lot of money. It really is. And sure, if I had $17,000 last April, I would have bought something newer and something better, but I didn't. I had $8,000, and I did not want to go into debt. I put a lower initial payment out, and I invest over time into something that I know that over time I'm gonna know inside and out. And that's the way it's going. I am replacing her piece by piece. And in the meantime, I own her. I don't owe anybody anything. I don't have payments, I don't owe interest, and I'm not killing the planet. My humble opinion, I'm not telling you what to do with your life. In my opinion, I am not killing the planet by buying one more brand new thing and depleting our resources. So that is my choice. That is just something for my personal life and the way I am choosing to live. This is how I chose to do it. Sure, I've got challenges, but who doesn't? You know, it's just part of the process. All right, it's my soapbox about Matilda. I'm loyal to her. I mean, we've been through some stuff, and I hope this is the end of it. It probably won't be. Talk about my warranty. Let's talk about the transmission. In early October, I was heading to the Bay Area to sell my car, and I broke down on the side of Interstate 5. and I looked out and it's smoking like crazy. I mean, just spewing smoke out of the back of my rig. And I've been just driving along, popping my pistachios, cruising along, you know, and all of a sudden I looked out my window and there's smoke spewing all over the place. So I pulled over, got out, looked underneath, and it is just spewing transmission fluid. Red, for those of you who don't know, transmission fluid is red, so that's how I knew it was transmission fluid. Red all over the place. I mean, gushing. It was just bad. So I have a blog about it. I'm not going to tell the whole story here, but you can check out the blog in which I write about the whole traumatic 2-week experience. I was outside of a tiny town called Williams in Northern California. I got towed to the only shop that could handle my rig and stayed there for 2 weeks while they rebuilt my transmission. One of the things they told me is they were a Napa AutoCare shop. And when I had a decision to make about my transmission, do I want a rebuilt transmission or do I want a brand new one? The brand new one was, I think on the East Coast, would have taken 5 extra days to get to me, and it cost $1,000 more. The rebuilt transmission was $1,000 less. They told me it could be done in a few days, and they told me it came with a Napa Nationwide AutoCare warranty, 2 years and 24,000 miles. So I'm thinking, what are the chances it's gonna break again in 2 years? That sounds like a good bet to me. And I have my paperwork that says it is covered under a warranty. When I left there, they told me if you break down anywhere in the country, just take it to a Napa AutoCare shop and they will take care of you. Fast forward to last week. First thing I noticed is my brakes. All of a sudden, my brakes sounded like metal on metal, which I didn't understand because I had just had them checked not too long ago in Joseph, Oregon. That's also a blog if you want to take a look at that one. Yeah, Matilda and I have been through some shit. Coming here to my current location, I started noticing my brakes, and I was like, oh, this isn't good. They sounded like metal on metal, and like I said, I didn't understand why. So then I was really in tune to the vehicle because it was making noise, and all of a sudden I started noticing a squeaking from under the hood, and my transmission started slipping. So I don't know if I just never noticed it before or if it just started happening all of a sudden, but my transmission started slipping bad. I had to wait because it was the New Year holiday, so I had to just sit and wait for 3 days to find a shop. I found a Napa Care shop, took it to them. They contacted the shop who installed the original transmission, and long story short, it took 2 days for them to figure out who was going to pay for it. Because guess what? Napa doesn't cover transmissions. Yeah. Napa AutoCare warranty does not cover engines or transmissions. Shop, and I'll give their name, Harper's Automotive, who installed my transmission in Northern California. They are not a transmission shop. They had to send out and have someone else build the transmission. But Harper, I believe, completely did the right thing by me. I think they believed their Napa AutoCare membership would cover my transmission. Even when I got to my current location, 2 different shops, they were unclear as to whether Napa would cover the transmission. I really think it was an honest mistake. I spent 2 weeks with this guy, the owner of that shop. He's a good guy. I do not think he intentionally screwed me over. I really don't. But I want to share this with you because I have learned something through this experience. I think I'm gullible. I think sometimes, I mean, I don't trust people really, but maybe I'm gullible. I took his word for it. I didn't ask to see any Napa warranty information in writing. I got a receipt that said it had a warranty, and I trusted that receipt. I don't know, should I have done more? In retrospect, I'm thinking yes. I think I need to not take so much for face value. I have it in writing, so I'm covered. Dave at Harper's Auto has been doing right for me, right by me, sure. It took him 2 days longer than it should have. But he was trying to iron it out and find out who would be responsible, because now in the end it's coming out of his pocket from what I understand. I wish that somebody at the beginning would have said, you know what, it doesn't matter, we'll figure that out, let's just get her on the rack and get her transmission fixed. But that's not what they did. They fought about it for 2 days while I sat here, I'm gonna say it, suffering for the second time in 2 months over a broken transmission. The first time, sure, I mean, that wasn't anybody's fault, it broke. This time, yeah, you know what, somebody needs to step up and take ownership of this, because this is BS. So I think this is a long story, but I think the message I'm trying to share with you is to ask more questions. As a woman, I don't know, I wasn't brought up to ask questions. And yeah, I'm gonna say part of that is my gender. As women, we're taught to be nice, not make waves, and whatever you do, don't be a nag, right? Don't be emotional, don't be a nag. And what does that really mean? That means just sit back and be quiet, because the nag label tells us to sit down and shut up, right? I don't want to hear you, sit down and shut up. So I think we are raised to not be more assertive and to not ask the questions that maybe a man would have asked. And I'm not saying all women are like that. I'm sure there are plenty of women who learned along the way to take care of themselves. I'm still learning. I'm a work in progress. I didn't have teachers. I didn't have mentors. Everything I have learned in life, I have learned on my own. I pretty much have raised myself since I was 13 years old. So I'm still learning. What can I say? And that's why I don't mind the challenges, because every challenge is another opportunity for me to learn and grow. And in this opportunity, I learned that I need to ask more questions. All right, so what does a nationwide Napa warranty really mean? Well, it means you can go anywhere in the country. Okay, so when I pulled in here, what I learned initially was that my warranty covered the transmission, but the guy in Northern California, what, I don't know, 1,000 miles away, 700 miles away, the initial solution was that he was going to build a new transmission and send it down here. That's not acceptable. He screwed it up to begin with. I didn't want another transmission from him. So when I heard a nationwide Napa warranty, what I heard is I can pull into any shop that is a Napa shop and they would fix it for me, and I wouldn't have to sit around and wait for another 2 weeks for the original guy. So what that tells me is the original warranty was with that guy, not with Napa. I would have asked more questions. What does it really mean? Does that mean that I can go to any shop and they will be responsible, or do I need to go back to the original guy? Will he be the one responsible? How does that really work? Let me see it in writing from Napa so that I would have known right then and there it wasn't covered under Napa, and maybe I could have made a different decision. I really think that is the key lesson here, is I just would have asked more questions and been more clear about what my rights were should I break down again. Again, I really thought the chances of breaking down again within 2 years were going to be extremely slim. I think next time I need to take into consideration my luck. I really have bad luck. It's crazy. So what would I do differently? Would have taken Matilda to get her inspected by a mechanic before I bought it. This is where my impatience always bites me in the ass. I don't have the patience. I'm not an attention to detail person. I just want to be done with stuff. It's really hard for me to just kind of sit with stuff, take the time to do things thoroughly. And that is a lesson, again, I am constantly learning and trying to improve. All right, I've spoken a lot. I'm not sure I've said a lot. A lot of words have come out of my mouth. I'm not sure I've really said a lot, but I hope I have. I hope that gives you some information to help you should you ever be in the same situation with an auto repair shop. Get everything in writing. Ask to see backup. Really learn to dig deeper below the surface to really understand what things are going to mean and how they're going to affect me. All right. So that's what I have today about my Napa AutoCare warranty, or lack thereof. It's Sunday here in Arizona. Tomorrow they're gonna pull the transmission. This guy really seems to know what he's talking about and really seems to know his stuff. He's a busy shop. He came highly recommended from another shop in town. I'm really hoping to be out of here by Thursday. Fingers crossed. And let's also hope that this is the end of my transmission troubles. All right, thank you all very much. You know, I say this every time. The kindness and the support and the encouragement that I have been getting over this issue on Facebook and on YouTube and the emails, oh my God, I never feel alone. The last time I went through this, I really felt alone. Oh, I had some really low points. I've got 20,000 plus of you out here now just thinking about me and sending me your advice and your experience and your encouragement and your empathy, and I'm grateful to each and every one of you. So thank you so much for being here, for being a part of my community. We may or may not have a name soon. Thank you for giving me a safe place to make mistakes. Most of you. Welcome my lessons and treat me with kindness and empathy. I don't put myself out here to be criticized and ridiculed. I put myself out there to help others who hear me. And if you feel the need to criticize and ridicule me, I would look in the mirror and see what's really going on, because it's not about me, it's about you. All right, I love you guys. You're awesome. Be happy, be safe, and most of all, be kind. And I will see you all soon. Thank you.